Hey, what's up, Elvis? This is a quick demo video for you for your Raxus Starkiller. This is something that you bought on a secondhand market. I'm glad that you did. I had heard about this in the very beginning, and I think it was on its way to be powder coated purple or something. So I'm glad that you saved it, right? So it was very cool to do. When you sent this to me, it was clean. So I went through and I weathered it. So we'll try to focus in on the weathering a little bit. I did paint the ring around the handle black like I like to do, but then I weathered it up. Heat stained your shrouds because they are made out of steel. All right, and of course this one right here is the one that you slide down for your crystal chamber reveal that we'll go over here in a second. We're just going over the weathering right now. So you've got a real quartz crystal in there. Your crystal mount and the top part with the rod coming down, those are made out of titanium, so those are heat stained. These two main bars were heat stained as well. They're made out of titanium. All right, you've got the Taco Shop crystal chamber add-on there in the back. That's made out of brass, but I did weather that. When you turn that around, your steel screws, so you've got 3 here and you've got 3 on the other side. I heat stained those as well. Heat stained the entire shroud. I did glue this button on though, as you and I talked about, because the threading was broke. So I went ahead and I glued that on. I did not glue in this one though, so this one's just threaded. If you wanted to take this out and put a different color one in, you could definitely do that. This ring right here was heat stained. It is steel. I did some battle damage on your ears here, and then as well as the tip of your shroud. A little bit of battle damage on both sides of the shroud and the bunny ears. You've got a Carl Chen V4 Neopixel connector in there, so we'll light that up. And then to get to your chassis, you just want to unscrew the handle. All right, so it is a tight fit, but it goes, so you shouldn't have any problems. All right, unscrew that handle all the way and just kind of shimmy it off. And then this is your chassis right here. So I did weather up the chassis as well. Anything that's not black SLS material is brass. So I went through and I weathered all the brass. You can see that there. You got your OLED screen right here. This is a board cover. It's held on with magnets, so you can, I'm going to do this over the table so I don't drop it, but you can pop it off. It's held on with magnets. I did put a, what is that, a 5-pixel accent strip on top of your board, and then I put a little bit of just some electrical tape over the solder joints because I didn't like how close they were running to the board cover. All right, but access to your SD card and your micro USB. I will send you a copy of the config file. There is one on here, but I made a slight change at the last minute, so I'll just go ahead and email that to you because I have that. The change that I made was on that config file. It's the same that I use for all of these when I do them, for a single Neopixel accent underneath the crystal. But instead of using that on yours, I put an 11-pixel accent ring underneath the crystal so that I could get it to do some added animations, and you'll see that here in a second. All right, flipping it over here, you've got your secondary crystal chamber, so it's got that crystal in there with a rotating piece right above it. You'll see that here in a second. You've got this chamber right here, so what I do is I have a Neopixel accent right up in here, and I make this a broken circuitry type effect. All right, and this is your board cover with your kill switch. Now your board cover as well is held on with magnets. It's a pretty tight fit, so I like to do it over the table. And you can pop that off, and you have an 18350 battery in here. I'm going to leave this battery in here. You will want to charge it though. It can be a little hard to get out. You just want to pop it a little bit from one side and then come over here and work the other side, and once you do that, you can take it right out. All right, so it's a tight fit, but it comes out. I've taken this battery out of this chassis probably 4 or 5 times since I've installed it. Never had an issue. All right, so I'll go ahead and put the battery cover back on. You've got a fully enclosed 28mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker, so this sounds really good. All right, so we'll come over here and flip our kill switch. So you've got my boot up OLED screen right there. You've got your secondary crystal chamber pulsing, and your main crystal is doing a slightly different effect. So it's an accent ring, so it's doing a slow reverse scroll is actually what it's programmed to do right now. All right, until we hit power. And that's why I put that accent ring in there, because you get some added effect on that crystal. I really liked that. You got your spinning piece right here, and of course your broken circuitry right here. And then you've got your battery meter here, but you've got that added light animation with all these holes in the board cover. So that was pretty cool, right? You've got twist on and twist off, all right? So we can twist that off, come over here, put our handle on. Got a few threads, no biggie. They are greased up, so they're not going to squeak on you. Tighten up that handle. These bars are meant to be in an X configuration. So as you can see, that bar runs up the middle, lines up with the crystal chamber that lines up with this. On a Starkiller, you have two different ways you could do those bars, right? You can either have an X like we have here, or some people like the X, or I'm sorry, the cross configuration or the X configuration. I did the cross on this particular model. All right, so 2-button setup. You've got some small tactile switches here. I like to make them very low profile so they don't get in the way. But the front is power, back is auxiliary, and you can tap power to turn it off. Very easy to do. All right, your Carl Chen V4 Neopixel connector. This thing sounds pretty beefy when it's all buttoned up. Of course, when it's on, you can slide this down. It's on magnets, so you don't have to take it off. You can just slide it down with your finger, and you get your secondary crystal reveal. Right, and then when you're done, you can slide it back into place. Just kind of line it up and twist it off. This is your blade retention, so you want to back this up. You don't have to take it all the way out though. And then this takes a 7/8 inch blade. All right, so we'll put a 7/8 inch blade in there till we hit those pins. Don't go jamming the blade into the blade socket. Just go easy till you hit those pins. Stop, lock your blade down, hit power. Blaster bolt deflex is just tapping auxiliary. It's a little bit hard to see on an unstable blade, but in person you'll be able to see it. You'll get some shine through in this button and in this one. And then blade lockup is holding the auxiliary button down and hitting the saber. So you see it right here, the difference in color in my hand, right? And you go vertical, now it's right here. So horizontal here, vertical here. To play your soundtrack, it's a long press on the power. Okay, another long press to turn it off. This just has my sound font on it for now, which is the Apologize font. So, we're firing up good. Wow. All right, we'll go ahead and take the blade out. So again, back this up a little bit. Don't be afraid to crank down on that guy. It's very small. It barely sticks into the blade socket. So it is meant to be tightened down as hard as you can. That's how it grabs onto the blade. All right, then we'll take our handle off again. Oops. Twist on. So we'll take our handle off again. Slide it off. I'll turn this guy on. And then we will flip it off from our kill switch right here. And it kills power just like it should. All right. But that is basically your Raxus Starkiller with Taco Shop chassis. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will get this out in the mail to you tomorrow. Thanks, man.